so when I got drafted, I just remember thinking, this is unbelievable. And I've now got an opportunity to do something, really special with what's been given to me.
And Matt and Susie both looked at me and said, listen, we have this great idea. We want to set up a foundation. And I mean, first thoughts to my mind based on my experience were, bad idea. I've seen a lot of clients make really poor decisions where they're super passionate the first couple of years and then ultimately things go sideways. Matt just kind of looked at me and said, Steve, this is what we want to do.
And that's what happened in the early years of the Life Foundation. We would host these ridiculous events. We would have wrestling at the Roxy. We would do, just really fun stag night events where guys would all get together and we were raising, serious funds and making great contributions to other 501c3s. And so these nonprofits were benefiting. But after 2 or 3 years, we realized that in some cases, we weren't really helping the organization. And so I started to think more in terms of what's the long-term impact of what we truly want to do through the Life Foundation. And it became more and more apparent that we were going to have to own every step along the way. We need to have a place where we could host all of our different activities and the different types of programs that we want to utilize to impact the lives of these kids. And we need to make sure that we manage it from day one till the end of time.
I think Matt had himself as a young person in mind for the camp. He was able to visualize what he needed, and he just firmly feels that if you take young men or kids in general and take them out into the outdoors and put the time in to teach them really important lessons, those lessons are going to stick with them and they're going to help shape who they are. And he knew that if he could reach these kids and show them what it means to be a leader and show them how to be responsible and accountable, that they would all benefit from it.
And then as Matt kind of formed this idea of this camp and what he wanted to do with this leadership camp in Camp Pahokos, the first time we went to camp and he actually showed us this basically hole that they made in the woods and these canvas tents and what they were doing with these kids, I think at that point, I'm like, my God, what have we gotten ourselves into?
It was a challenge. It was a challenge for us to, host the events and do the things we want to do programming-wise, and at the same time build the true infrastructure.
And I'm thinking, well, how is all this going to happen? But then, the yurts came on. We built, the kitchen, all the things that have happened, and of course, with this building especially, it's like I don't think there's any limits. I think this place is just like the sky is the limit.
And then we built this amphitheater in the woods, which was about an 8 to 10 year project. And, we just finally get that finalized. And the pavilion that's in camp that covers, a lot of the area that we work within while we're at camp, that was, something that took, Herculean effort, and we did during the downtime. But through all those different changes, we had to continue to do what we did and at the same time grow. And that's difficult for any group. For all those people that have jumped on board with the Life Foundation by sponsoring us or donating, real dollars, and all the different ways that people have just dropped what they're doing to be a part of our mission, I owe it to those people to make sure that we have a lasting impact and that, we're getting involved in the lives of these kids and doing the things that we say we're going to do.
When we get the kids out here and you can watch them grow with that 4-year program, that's probably one of the best things that's happened to me in my whole life, actually.
I think the thing that stands out the most for me is just that he really cares about these kids, these 16 kids that show up, and some of them have just been through so much. And the fact that it's like, we're not just giving you 10 good days out here. We're going to keep up with you. We're going to keep track of you. And I think, to go that far above and beyond when you're already doing the things you are doing is just something that tells you your heart is never, it's never big enough, and he just doesn't have any limits.